Xavia Fox, and I am here introducing a new web series for you guys. I know you're going to enjoy it because we are going to talk about dating across the country. And we are back, and I have another single person in the DMV. We have another guy here who is going to introduce himself to us, and we're going to find out what he has to say about being single in the DMV. So, introduce yourself to my listeners.
Good afternoon, listeners. My name is Dietrich Moon. I'm originally from North Carolina. I've moved to the DMV in 2006, so it's been about 10 years. So the rule goes after 10 years, you're official, so I'm a DMV native at this point.
So you're single. Do you have kids or anything?
Yes, I am actually divorced, and I have one child who's 8 years old.
Okay, all right. And you've been here 10 years, so tell me, what are your thoughts on dating in the DMV? And you're actually from somewhere else, so you're in Plant. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on the dating scene here?
It's very different than what I grew up with. It was funny that you should ask. One of my homeboys, one of my really good friends, told me that when I first moved here, dude, you're going to have to get used to a completely different environment, because here the women are very independent and they're a lot different than what you've grown accustomed to. For happenstance, most of the women here have AAA and things of that nature, so if they have a flat tire or something like that, they're probably not going to call you. When it snows outside, they probably got a man or someone like that that'll get the snow off for them as opposed to calling you. And in a sense, you find yourself being emasculated in a sense, and unfortunately, in a lot of ways, the women run the house, whereas the men sit back. So in a sense, I've had to learn how to adjust to the environment, because unfortunately, the women here are more dominating, and they have their careers, they're very successful and things of that nature, whereas the women from my hometown are generally more reliant and less independent. So that's been one of the big things that I struggled with when I first moved here, but after 10 years, people are accustomed to it.
Okay, that was a really real answer. I really appreciate that answer. What age group are you? You don't have to tell us exactly if you don't want to, but
I'm 38.
You're 38, okay.
Yes,
so both of the guys that we've talked to are single in DMV, are in their late 30s, headed to 40s. So you're divorced?
Yes.
Were you married to a DC woman, or were you married to someone?
Not quite. She was actually from a small town in Virginia. I want to say it was Ashburn, Virginia. So for being Ashburn, Virginia, she was a little different. She was an outlier. She didn't really spend much time in DC. So she was more akin to what I was accustomed to as far as her dependency and whatnot. But since her, a lot of the women that I've dated in the area have been more independent and everything, and those have led to struggles and power conflicts and things of that nature, because I want the lead. And as a general example, ended up almost getting into an argument with a lady because we were leaving a restaurant, we were walking along the sidewalk, and I placed my hand on her hip and I pushed her to the inside. And it was our first date, and she asked me, well, what the hell are you putting your hand on my hip for? You don't know me like that, and so on and so forth. And my response was, excuse you? I'm trying to protect you, and so on and so forth. So after things de-escalated, we had a talk, and I said, where I'm from, I was taught you always hold the door for a woman. You always push the woman to the inside, whether you're in a romantic relationship with her or not. And she said, well, no one has ever told me that. And I was like, well, now you know. So next time I do something like that, I'm not trying to get fresh with you. I'm just trying to protect you and look out for you. Things of that nature are commonplace where I'm from, but they appear to be less common here.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so if you could change one thing about the women in the DMV, what would that be?
I would say probably let a man be a man sometimes. And
okay, you said that. I have to, because one of my big things is, how do you let a man be a man? So what does that mean? Because the men, but I'm not from DMV, and I'm very much more domestic and all that other kind of stuff, but the men that I've encountered, if they are men, they take charge. You can't give them charge. They're going to tell you that this is the way we're going to do it, and you either get with the program or you don't.
See, that's where the inherent problem comes in. That it's not so much as the fact of the man taking charge, it's the woman falling back and allowing him to take charge. So I'll give you a concrete example. So this lady that I was dating, we had a big snowstorm, if I remember correctly, whatever. like 21 inches of snow on the ground.
Wow.
I told her that, I will come over and I will come shovel you out after I finish taking care of my house, taking care of my home, and so on and so forth. And, that's that. So she said, okay. She said, but I don't want you to have to come all the way over here because she lives in Baltimore. And she's like, you live 45 minutes away, and I don't want you to have to come all the way out here. I can do it on my own. And I said, no, but as your man, that's my job. Let me do my job. Let me take care of you, and so on and so forth. She said, no, I don't want you to come all the way out here. You got your daughter, and so on and so forth. Worry about her. I worry about me. So I said, nope, I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. I'm on my way. Well, by the time I got there, she was already halfway done, shoveling her car out. And I said, you got to be kidding me. Didn't I tell you that I was on my way and that I would take care of it? Well, and her response to me was, well, who do you think you are? You're not my dad. And I'm like, oh, here we go with this again. And it's like, babe, it's not a situation of me being your dad. It's a situation of me trying to take care of you. Here I'm standing up. I'm trying to step up to the plate. But instead of allowing me to step up to the plate, you want to battle me each step of the way. So it ends up becoming a exercise where you're jockeying for position. And I won't say that this premise applies to all women, but a good portion of the women that I've encountered in the DMV do tend to have those attitudes, and it's more of a situation of they don't give you the respect or allow you to take leadership until it's like you have to go through a rite of passage before they will willingly step back and fall back.
Okay, all right, those were some great, honest answers. So we've had as far as the women in the DMV, that they are a bit full of game and that they are very independent. And we've heard from our woman that the men in the DMV just don't want to settle down because they don't really have to. So we've got some stuff going on here. And one of the things I'm going to ask later on in the show is, how do you fix that? And maybe we'll actually put that online. So maybe some of you from the DMV, once you listen to this, you can go right down to the comments and you can let me know what you think the people in the DMV can do to fix this, so we don't have some 40-year-old single men and some, women that's trying to get that biological clock caught up. But we'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, to Dating in the DMV. And make sure you check me out as I continue to go from state to state and city to city, talking to all the single people about dating in their area. You can follow me on Facebook at Xavia Fox, and I am on YouTube as X Fox on the Box. That's all one word, lowercase. So until next time, peace.